You want some big, juicy, bouncy boobies, nice and hairy. Make sure you do these exercises in this video, especially if you're like me and you don't have a lot of lifting equipment at home. I mean, look, dude, I got some rings. I got Bowflex dumbbells, which are all right. I got a weighted vest on the floor over here. These are the only things I have in my house, and sometimes I'm not going to the gym, like on snowy days like these. But today I'm going to show you how to get in a really good killer chest workout with simple equipment at home, even if you don't have a full lifting setup like me. So let's get at it. So the first exercise we got is a ring push-up. You can do this weighted or unweighted, whatever you're comfortable with. With the ring push-up, not only are you pushing up on something unstable, making the movement a lot more difficult, you also can get a deeper stretch with the pecs since you're sinking lower past the floor level where you would typically stop at a normal push-up. And with the ring push-up, you can also pull those rings together while at the top of the movement, really squeezing those pecs, which is really awesome. You don't need a high rep calisthenics workout to get an amazing and brutal contraction with this exercise. And when it becomes too easy, it's really easy to make it harder. Throw on a backpack with some books in it or weights. I have a weighted vest, which you can use as well. It'll be a long time before you have any difficulty loading this exercise. Honestly, when was the last time you failed doing a push-up at 10 reps? It's probably been a while, but with the ring push-up, you can achieve this really easily. And with the ring push-up, guys, make note of your hands. With these, you can do a standard grip. You can also do a neutral grip, or you can even do with the palms turned out, making this movement really difficult. It's probably the hardest variation. So there are many ways to progress on this movement with many different variations for your programming. You can play around with each hand position, see what you like, and you're gonna hit your chest great regardless. But as you play around, maybe you find one hand position really gives you great activation compared to another, so maybe that's your main movement. Definitely try out the hand variations with this. Now, I understand many of you don't have rings in your house, but I highly recommend getting some, and considering they're so cheap and versatile, they're like 30, 40 bucks on Amazon, you can find some way to hang them somewhere in your house. Like, I don't really have tall ceilings, guys. I just took out the ceiling tiles in here and then put a little board. Now I can have gymnastic rings in my basement. But if you don't have gymnastic rings, and you really should, I think it's worth the investment, you can substitute this with a deep push-up by having your hands elevated on some books or dumbbells, whatever you got in your house. But keep in mind, you're on a stable surface then. It's not going to be as hard because the rings are unstable. So definitely keep that in mind. And let's say with this, you wanted some upper chest activation, a bias. It's really not complicated. All you got to do is raise your feet on something. I put it on my bench up here. But you don't want to be too high where it becomes a shoulder workout. But just so you're at a slight angle hitting your upper chest with your ring push-ups. You can do all the same variations, but it'll be much more challenging because you're hitting that upper chest bias, requiring less loading. You don't need the weighted backpack for these. Ring push-ups are a calisthenic must in my opinion. All right, so the second home workout exercise is actually be a new tool of mine, which I got from GT, which is this chest crusher, and I've really been enjoying it. After seeing Alex Leonidas talk about his in a couple videos ago, GT reached out to me and they're like, hey, do you want to try this out? We just relaunched it. I was like, yeah, awesome, perfect timing, and I've really been enjoying this piece. Now, as I've been training with this chest crusher for a couple months, I do have a couple main thoughts of appropriate uses for it. One is this is a great piece to utilize pre-exhaustion with. It's really easy to fatigue the chest with this, so you can really feel your chest workout when you do your push-ups or dips or even before a benching session. I mean, crank out like 15 to 20 of these and your chest will definitely be on fire. And surprisingly, it's weird, like my forearms and biceps feel it as well. So tire out your muscle, and then you can do the main movement for a great mind-muscle connection because your chest is already pre-fatigued, and it's really easy to do with this. And the nice thing about the one from GD is it is just compression load. It's not springs, so adjusting this is really easy. You just have this. You can slide it up or down for easy, or you can slide it down for harder, right? So there's no springs. It's really easy to adjust, and it still provides a lot of difficulty. There's 10 different difficulties on here. And that's also really nice because you can use it for a more difficult movement for the day. So if you want to use it as a pump tool or even more as a main mover, there isn't too much adjustment. You just slide this lever up and down wherever you want it. So if you really want to go hard, you don't have to mess with any springs unlike the other ones. You just have to use this lever right here. And let's say with these chest crushers, really whatever one you got, if you max it out at the bottom, which I have right here, is still quite difficult though, flip it upside down, try squeezing. I still can't even do it. So this has been a staple for me the past couple months, and it's really changed my home workouts as well for my chest. I surprisingly still get amazing form activation, which I just find weird. I don't really understand. So along with the pre-exhaustion, you can use it as a main isolation movement, but I think it is better geared towards the end of a workout to really squeeze the remaining juice out of your pecs. It's not often you are exercising like pushing this way in your pecs in this motion. You typically just have your push, a fly, and then I've never really seriously trained, the crush motion, which is definitely different with this. So my two main use cases are pre-exhaustion and an isolation tool at the end of the workout. But maxing out on this thing is still quite fun, but keep in mind if you have a large wingspan, you guys know I'm 5'7". This is gonna be a lot easier for you since you'll have more leverage to push out from the sides, where my wingspan's a lot shorter. So make sure you consider your long arms. If you want this chest crusher, I'm gonna put a link in the description leading you to GD's Amazon page and you can check it out. Thanks again for GD for sending me this awesome piece. Now for the last great movement for a chest workout, and honestly something I still really suck at, is a body weight fly on the rings. Compared to like a pec deck, these are extremely unstable, meaning more core activation to keep your body rigid, plus the stretch at the full position, all the way out here guys, is insane, and I can't even do it with straight arms. So my hunch is most of you will not be able to do these horizontal, so there are a couple ways to make them a lot easier so you can progress on them. First is to change the angle. The more upright, the easier the movement, the more horizontal. So set steps for yourself. Can you easily do 3 sets of 15 at a certain angle, more upright? If you can, get down a little more and then work your way down again and repeat the process. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can limit the range of motion and start with like little ones, just like this. And when you get more comfortable, start expanding. And when you get more comfortable, expand again. Then when you get more comfortable, expand again. So you can do it that way, but I think it'll be more intuitive for you guys to practice the full range of motion at different angles. But you can implement both, if you want to try that. However, I think the standard changing the angle and slowly going down is the better option for most of you guys. And when you get really good at these, loading them is no problem with some books or weighted vest or whatever you need. Like I got the weighted vest in the back right there. You're not going to need a lot of weight. I still suck at these with the body weight and they're very difficult. If you watch my channel, high chance you're not like a 130-pound calisthenic bro who's like, look at all my cool tricks because I weigh so light, right? You probably have some mass making your calisthenic movements a lot more difficult compared to the skinny calisthenics boy who weighs 130 pounds with no body fat. Very different bodies. So now you have 3 main movements that are going to take you a very long time to get proficient at. And you can take a long time training these. You can have your ring push-ups, you have the chest crusher, and then you have some ring flies. And these are new stimuluses for most of you guys to get those big, old, juicy, hairy melons. I mean, at least mine are hairy, I guess that's what it is. But thanks again for GD for sending me the chest crusher. I have an affiliate link in the description with that, along with the other things I use in this video. If you haven't watched my full Big Boy Basics guide to get absolutely huge, check it out right here, and you can download everything for free on my website at atalafit.com. Peace.